in all seriousness, how's your third shot drive?
What am I doing?
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no.
It's okay. How's yours?
Okay.
In all seriousness though, PK's got one of the best drives in all of pickleball, so I brought him on to help teach you all through teaching me how some of these puzzle pieces that if you put them together in the right way will help you hit more beautiful dipping drives that look less like this and more like this. So let's get into it. PK is gonna watch me hit some, and then he's gonna give me and you some thoughts around our grip.
The main thing I like to do is kind of give everyone a baseline, and then they can make it their own from there. Okay, so let's do 5 drives. Let's go extreme first.
Okay,
let's go a little bit more extreme on the grip.
Okay.
Let's get you into more of a Western grip, and let's see what happens to the ball.
This feels very awkward.
It's gonna be weird. Yeah?
Yeah, it's like immediate more topspin.
But you can see where the trouble comes is if you're trying to drive something and the ball's low.
Yeah.
I mean,
have to
it's
get under it.
really tough. You got to get under it. So
So-
now let's move a little more neutral. Let's get you onto like a semi-Western. Super easy way to find that is if you put the paddle on the ground and you just go to pick it up, you'll be holding a semi-Western grip. This should feel more comfortable.
Yeah, this is still quite a bit actually
More than you're used to.
more than I'm used to.
Yeah.
It felt weird like hitting the backhand. I feel like I had to change my grip really quick.
Yeah.
Is that what people would have to do if they were hitting this Western on
Yep.
a backhand?
So that's why that's kind of what I was mentioning earlier is the more you go neutral, the benefit is you can get over to your backhand much quicker. But I'd say for most people, semi-Western be probably about as extreme as you'd want to go. So now let's go over and change you over to like an Eastern grip.
Okay.
This would be more similar to like if you're shaking my hand again, like when I first gave it to
I
you.
feel like this is a little more how I already swing.
Yep.
I mean, immediately on 2 swings, it feels flatter. I feel like the other ones have a little more natural spin built into it almost.
Yep.
Okay.
Super easy to make contact there, but you can see there's a lot less dip on the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go all the way over to a continental. So get your hammer on, like you're holding the hammer, or as long as this paddle lines up with your arm.
Okay.
So it's pretty much a straight line.
I don't even know if I can hit this ball like this.
Yes, people do hit drives like this,
Yeah.
and I don't recommend.
Feels like I almost.
You almost have to cup it, right?
Yeah. Feels very bad.
A lot of people will just gravitate to that probably because they've held a lot of either tools, or if you hold any kind of stick in your hand, usually you just hold it like that.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily conducive to hitting a great drive. I'd say that's why I think the easiest for most people would be just going to like an Eastern, or if you can get over to like a semi-Western.
Everything's probably going to feel a little funky at first because it's new,
Yep.
but you just have to mess around with it, which I'm going to even do after just getting this teaching from you. The next puzzle piece is actually your stance. Like, do you recommend closed stance, open stance?
I definitely recommend close stance if possible. In order to get that body weight transfer, everything into the shot, we want to be close stance to do that. So there's certain shots you won't be able to, but when you're in a point live, the open stance kind of comes out on its own. Typically when you don't have time and the ball is hit to you quickly, and you don't have time to set up and move into the shot, you'll end up being open stands, or if the ball's out wide and you're just running to get to it, you're going to be open stands. But again, for a ball that you generally should be hitting a third shot drive on, you should have time, you should have the ball not coming at you quick, and it's in front of you. So you want to be close stance so you can get that momentum into the court and that rotation through the ball.
So the next puzzle piece that'll make you have a great drive is all around your backswing.
Just talking about the backswing is when you take it and how big it is. So it's important that we take it early because we don't want to be back and forth rushing it. But the main thing I want to talk to you about is how big it is. And honestly, I don't even like to use the word backswing because you shouldn't really take a swing at all. Okay. And what I mean by that is what I want my backswing to be is a shoulder rotation. As soon as the ball's coming, first thing I want to do is turn my shoulders. That shoulder turn is my backswing.
Got it.
From there, I don't need to take anything farther back.
So it's like I'm almost trying to get my left shoulder like forward. I'm just trying to think about it even a different way. So like it's a core twist more than a backswing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I don't like the word backswing, because if I do it as a backswing, if I stay facing my opponent here and I just swing my arm,
Yeah.
right? Anytime I separate my arm from my body, there's a lot of mistakes that can happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because the more I can use my bigger muscles and my core, the more I can be repetitive, right? And the big thing here is we want to have something that we can be consistent with.
Yeah.
So I can consistently repeat this motion. So if I don't do anything with my hands and I just turn my shoulders, it's a shoulder rotation, then I can repeat it every single time. Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
I mean, I've never thought about it like this.
The big thing here is, again, we're giving cues, right? You know, if you go and pick out videos of other guys on tour like Kwong or Alshon and those guys, and they have a little bit of backswing, you are gonna make this shot your own. But to start, right, if I'm giving you a baseline place to start, is turn the shoulders and hit the ball. And then, yeah, even on certain shots, if I have time and I want to hit it a little bigger, I will have a bit of a backswing. But this is just the place you want to start from, so it's easy to repeat.
Quick interruption to tell you that the sponsor of this video, Selkirk, they now have a shoe line. So if you're wearing running shoes or basketball shoes or some not pickleball related shoe on court, then you got to check these out because these are specifically designed for pickleball. There's a ton of different options for men and for women, all different shoe sizes. You won't regret it. So use this code for a gift card when you go get some at selkirk.com. Now back to the video. The next puzzle piece to help you have a good drive is the
spacing between you and the ball.
Okay, what does that mean?
The spacing I'm talking about primarily is side-to-side spacing.
And you're talking about like when I'm going to make contact with the drive,
yep.
Where am I actually hitting the ball? Is it close to my body? Is it far from my body?
So there's two pieces to this, right? So the first part of the spacing is you need the ball away from you, right?
Okay.
So if you would imagine your arm is not locked, but like almost straight, right? Like naturally straight. That's about how far away the ball has to be for you when you make contact. Okay. So you can have almost a straight arm at contact.
Why though?
The reason why is we're talking about power and contact point on the ball. Right? So that's the second part to this is what part of the ball you're trying to make contact. So a lot of people I think too much in straight lines and they try to contact the ball directly behind. Our body doesn't work in straight lines. We're very rotational. So you actually want to try to hit the ball a little bit from the outside. So if you think about that, when you're making contact with the ball is hitting it from the outside, that will also in turn help you with the spacing because
if we're too close to the ball, we're probably either hitting it from the inside, are you saying?
Exactly.
Like in the middle? Okay.
Exactly, yeah. So if the ball's too close to you, you're not going to be able to make contact from it'd be really hard to hit from the outside. You'll hit yourself in the face probably. So if you think about trying to hit from the outside of the ball every time, so even if you're hitting the ball down the line or inside out, you always want that ball to be struck from the outside for control. And the easiest way to do that is if the ball's away from your body.
What do you think on that one? Was that inside or outside?
That one was, I mean, if it was outside, it was barely. That was almost straight behind the ball in the last one.
Let me try to go extreme of what I think outside means.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to understand that. Well, that one I actually gave a little more space between the ball, I think, thinking about that.
I mean, I don't know about you. Maybe he can give us a better idea. Those had a little more pop on them.
Well, I don't need, the outside thought is actually, I was trying to think about hitting on the outside of the ball, which is kind of a weird thought, but I think more of what the byproduct for me when I just hit those two balls was it actually made me get the ball a little bit farther from my body. Hit me one more. I feel like I'm hitting a lot of drives in general, kind of like this. Like where the ball is almost like, if we show the replay of that, the ball's really close to my body. And often I think, tell me if I'm correct in saying this, is like
first, if you look from behind, if you hit your drive, don't even think, hit how you would normally hit your drive. And let's just look at his elbow right here in the shot. Yep, that's literally your drive. That's hilarious. That's literally how you hit it before. So if we show again from this angle, we'll show the counter example to my drive.
Now he's just bragging. Gosh, this will be really interesting to...
that was in, by the way.
As we're editing. So I need the ball farther from my body, is what you're saying.
I talk about like that contact point on the ball because it's just a little bit, we're talking about the cues right today. So it's a little bit of a mental cue on how to get the ball away from your body.
Yeah.
Another way to look at it is as soon as the ball comes, I basically want to push away from the ball to create that spacing.
So I want to see that one more time. Can you show me another, like do the
so,
push motion? I want to see it from
so the ball's coming, I'm pushing to create the spacing. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we all should be like doing this dance move.
Yeah, it's literally, yes.
That feels good.
I mean, everything's so relatable to like other sports too, right? Like we're talking swing sports. Imagine like if you're playing baseball and you're just like.
That's a good comparison.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you're hitting with bent arms the whole time, right? Like when you see them at contact, like
they're actually a little more extended.
They're extended out straight. Or a golfer, right? Imagine if they're just, right? No, their arms are like literally almost not locked, but the same, right? Like out there.
Man, that's good.
All the sports relate. Everything relates.
So the next puzzle piece is around this concept of top spin, or he's going to talk about side spin as well. But you're talking about that.
Yeah. So that's another thing I see a lot of people mistaken is they're trying to hit a drive and they're trying to hit it big, so they don't hit it with any topspin. But
like you're saying, like because you hit it harder, you lose spin, you go flatter typically.
Yeah. So basically, they're hitting it flat and hard because they're like, oh, I'm hitting a drive. It needs to
kill somebody.
I need to kill somebody. The pace is what wins the point.
Yeah.
But if you don't have topspin on the ball, then you don't have any control. And again, control, consistency, repeatable, repetition.
Interesting.
So you cannot hit a consistent drive without topspin, no matter how big you're hitting it, especially the bigger you hit it, the less in it's going to go if you have no topspin on it. If we're relating this to like you're playing more specifically doubles, right? So if you're hitting a third shot drive, you've got two people at the net. If I just blast the ball hard and flat at their chest, first of all, what happens is I hit the ball long, first of all. Second of all, anything up here, doesn't matter how hard you hit it, if they decide to hit it, it's not that hard, like you said, to get it back. What I'm trying to do is get the ball down so they pop up the volley, or if they're unstacking and I'm driving the ball, is getting it down and dipping, which is where the topspin comes in to get the ball to go down.
How do you do that?
This kind of goes back to another point we were making about that contact point. Because you're too close to the ball sometimes, you make decent contact straight behind the ball, so you get good topspin. But the second piece of it is that you also want to make contact from the outside of the ball, which is why I was telling you earlier of getting that outside contact, because you want the ball to rotate not straight up and down or in reverse to the camera here, but you want it to rotate kind of on an angle at its side. Straight topspin, this happens for a lot of people when they're too close to the ball, so they can't get to the outside of it, but it's straight up and down, right? So the ball's going up and down, right? But it's harder to control and there's less power, right? It's almost stiff looking, right? So it's dipping, but I can't get as much power on it or as much control. What I want is a little bit of both, a little bit of outside contact as well as behind the ball for topspin. So if you look at the ball, it rotates around.
Interesting.
So you can see it probably when we slow-mo it, you'll see it curving.
Yeah, I can see it from back. Jesus.
Right? And then here, let me give an extreme example.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Did that come up?
This video's over. The next puzzle piece PK is going to take us through is around
getting your body weight into the shot. In all sports, a lot of these things kind of correspond and correlate, right? So we want to get our body weight behind the ball and into the shot because what we want is power behind the ball, but we want effortless power, right? So if I'm moving away from my target and I don't have my body weight going towards it, now I'm trying to use muscles to create power.
Could you show an example of that while we're in that zone?
You want to just hit a drive because...
Okay, that's it. That's funny. That's getting cut. No, so it's like, I kind of come here.
Yeah.
And I end up just... Like,
literally...
I just, even when I'm not clearly on my back foot, like sometimes, of course, like you step in by accident or whatever, ball gets pushed deep. I even think, tell me, is this accurate? There's the obvious way back foot. And then there's the other drives where you're just like very neutral. And you might just be leaning backwards instead of actually pushing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you are leaning back, you can see my shoulders are pointing up. The ball is going to follow that trajectory, right? So that's kind of what we're talking about with Kyle, is that he's even making good contact, good power behind the ball, but they're all sailing up because he's leaning back, i.e. body weight on his back foot, right? So the easiest way to correct that, right? You'll hear a lot of people talking about like staying down through the shot, right? That's part of this, but is getting the weight onto your front foot will help you stay down through the shot as well. But basically when the ball comes, I need to do all of my movement prior to the ball getting there so that when it's there, I can be stepping into the shot. I'm moving early, step forward into the shot. So I'm moving before the ball, boom, step forward into the shot.
It's a lot of pre-work, basically.
Yeah, because what everyone does is they move to the speed of the ball or just to be at the ball right when it's there. But you want to be there ahead of time so that when it's there, I can step into it. So that's why the work happens before the ball comes to you. If the ball's getting struck, I'm moving and then boom, into the shot. Yep.
So it's just like, yeah, it is interesting. You got to move your feet a little faster.
Yeah, and obviously this is a little bit exaggerated, right? So this is if you have a ton of time, you're really stepping into the shot.
Yeah.
But as long as you get the majority of your weight onto your front foot, your front leg, it'll help you stay down through the shot, and that's already getting your body weight. What we don't want is the weight on your back foot. So we want it here. You almost have this leg in the air for practice, but it's like really getting the weight there, right? If you look at quarterbacks, if you look at soccer players, if you imagine any of those guys, you know, a quarterback throwing the ball like this, right? Like they're moving and then on their front foot to make the throw if they can.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's exceptions always. Or soccer, right? If I'm leaning like this, the ball's going over the goalpost every time.
Yeah.
Want to get weight onto that front foot leaning over the ball if you're making a kick. So always correlating.
The next puzzle piece is around, I think, power and this psychological thing when I go to hit the ball on a third shot drive or a drive in general. I felt this a lot. Many people feel it. They try to hit it as hard as they can. I don't necessarily know why, because it feels good maybe, but is that the wrong thing? Is that the wrong approach? What should be the right approach?
I mean, definitely the wrong approach. I mean, it probably comes from, number one, maybe watching some pros and, you know, they hit the ball really hard. So then you're like, ooh, that's something I can do. But power is something that you have to work up to, right? So for one, we're starting at kind of a baseline power level, and then you're working up from there to try to up the speed of your shot. But the speed, again, I'm not trying to hit the ball hard, right? So if I had like a target power, I'd say between like 60 and 70% power would be like a really solid drive that I have time to hit, right? Obviously, if I have less time on the ball, I'm taking even more power off of it. But if I have a really sitting ball that I'm driving this third, I'm looking between that 60 and 70% power range, because again, this all boils back down to the repetition and the consistency. If I hit it, can I make a drive hitting it as hard as I can? I probably can make 1 out of 10. It'll look sick that I made one ball, but you know, now I'm down 10-1 and who cares, right? So I want to be able to hit consistent drives. So the way to achieve that is getting like, you're hitting it powerful, but in a zone that's repeatable and comfortable.
PK, I appreciate you joining us. Of course. Where can people find you?
PK Pickleball on Instagram, PK Pickleball on TikTok. Also do a few things on YouTube. Not a big YouTube guy like you. I'm working on it. But yeah, mostly on Instagram and TikTok is kind of got a lot of shorts on there. A couple quick tips that maybe we'll see this guy on soon.
Yeah, I hope so. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this video, Third Shot Drive Masterclass, which goes beyond technique. It goes into like where should you actually hit the ball and in what situations. See you guys soon.